What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm Zach from Streamin Cashios. And if you've been following along, you know that we've been working on this van build, the Sprinter 170 4x4. And I just wanted to dedicate one video to our electrical setup. So I want to show you the ins and outs of it. Let's go check it out. So for all the lights, everything is 12 volt. These are 12 volt puck lights. They're LEDs, they don't consume much. Disclaimer, everything that I will be showing you today will be available down in the description below through a link. And we appreciate you shopping through our links because we do get a very small commission from it. So we are forever grateful for you. Without further ado, let's get to it. So for all of the lights up top, we do have these switches. These are little 12 volt switches. They're really nice. We've got main switch for the kitchen area. Switch for the two front lights, which also helps the backlight. And then we also have a light for the exterior porch lights. And moving on down the hallway. In the hallway we have these under cabinet lights. Those are also on a switch. Down here in this cabinet we have indicator lights over here, which I'll show you. But we've got our water pump, our hot water heater. We are on a 120 4-gallon electric water heater. It's on a switch, so if you turn it on, you can see the light comes on. That means that right now it is off. I'm not consuming any electricity for the hot water heater. Right here we've got a propane cooktop. It does have a plug-in for 120. So if you want, when you turn it on, it clicks, it ignites it. Don't have to do that, but you can. And I have a plug down there, so I will. And under here will be our 12 volt, 120 volt marine fridge. Moving on to what will be here, the hole is cut out. It'll be a pop-up GFCI outlet. We like to use these in a lot of our builds. Okay, so like I showed you before, we've got these switches. This switch is for the under cabinet light. This switch is for your bedroom lights. There's 4 puck lights for the bedroom. This switch here is for your inverter. It's the Renogy 3000 watt auto transfer inverter charger. I'll show that to you down below here. As far as outlets go, we've got one on each side in the bedroom. We will obviously have that outlet right there on the countertop, and we have one up front. And in this build, we have 2 max air fans. These have 10 speeds. Reverse and forward. There's one right here and there's one back in the bedroom. And so our whole electrical setup is in this cabinet. It's all confined to this cabinet. Obviously we have our solar panels up on the roof. They are 2 100 watt Renogy panels. Underneath here is all the guts. So we'll start with the 120 side of things. First things first, we have 30 amp shore plug. It's mounted underneath the van. So it comes through the hole in the floor, and I've got some desktop little plugs. 10-3 orange, the orange wire that you see there, comes into the van from a shore plug into the inverter. So this supplies the inverter with the 30 amps. Right now, we're only just plugged up to a 15 amp receptacle here in the shop. So we only have 15 amps. But when you're plugged up to a pedestal, things like that, you will have 30 amps with your cord. So from the plug, it comes into the inverter, and from out the inverter, it comes down this way and into my breaker panel. So a water heater has its own separate breaker. Then this other breaker is for strictly receptacles that are throughout this whole van. That's all the 120 that we have. So it chose this specific inverter because 1, it's 3000 watts. 2, it's got an auto transfer switch. And what that means is if I were to unplug the shore power cord, it automatically senses that, hey, the shore plug has been removed. I need to swap to batteries. So it instantly clicks, transfers it over, so you don't have to have a separate transfer switch, things like that. So it's very nice and convenient. Yes, it's big and bulky, but it has the nice features inside of it that I really, really like. Along with that, it obviously has the screen that tells you, your levels. So we have lithium batteries. I'll show them to you here in a second. So I've got it set up for lithium. It has options for AGM batteries, lead acid batteries, things like that. So it shows you all of your levels, things like that. So it's really, really cool. Start off with the 12 volt side. Obviously, you need batteries. These are 2 100 amp hour lithium LifePo 4 batteries. So they're lithium iron phosphate deep cycle rechargeable batteries. So I've got the batteries wired together. Where we'll go from there is the power from the batteries goes into this switch. So basically what this will do is if I turn it off, it turns off all battery power. And from this switch, it there goes into my fuse to protect everything. From the fuse, the wire now goes into a distribution block. So this distribution block is now fed with positive 12 volts here. So now, instead of putting so many wires on the battery leads, I now have them nicely done here on the distribution block. So from the distribution block, it goes to my 12 volts here, my 12 volt distribution fuse panel, fuse block to feed my lights, my fans, my fridge, water pump, things like that. The distribution block feeds into my solar charge controller. So we've got the Victron Energy Smart Solar, so it's Bluetooth. Hook it up to your phone so you don't have to keep opening things just to figure out all your levels. Just have to hit Bluetooth on your phone, pull up the app, and it shows everything there. This 12 volt distribution block, the positive side, feeds into my inverter. So from the negative side of the battery, it feeds into my smart shunt. This is a Victron smart shunt. It's Bluetooth, it's 500 amps. So it will read my battery levels as well. So it's really nice through the Bluetooth app. So from there, I've got it going into the 12 volt fuse panel, fuse block, okay, which you can see right there. As well, I've got it fed from the battery to my 12 volt negative distribution block. So from the 12 volt negative distribution block, it feeds into my solar charge controller. It feeds into, obviously comes from the battery, and it feeds the inverter. From these inverters, so if you're looking at the inverter and you're like, man, those are big, thick wires, this is what Renogy recommends. They recommend a 300 amp fuse as well. So it's got the 300 amp fuse. This, obviously the red is the positive side that goes into the distribution block, and I've got the black that obviously goes into the negative side. Like we said, these are for 120. This is my grounding cord. So it's grounded, goes down into underneath the van where the hole is, and it mounts into the frame. This cord here is for that little remote that I showed you over there earlier alongside the cabinet. So you don't have to keep opening up just to turn this off and on. So this electrical setup is small. Obviously, you can go for as many batteries as you want. You can go for as many solar panels as you want. Vanlife electrical systems, there's so many, you can go whatever way. You can go to goal zero, there's so many different ways to go. There's no right way. It's just so many different ways. Different ways for different people as well. This here was just what I wanted to go with for the van. Just for instance, this charges from the solar panels and it charges from the inverter when you're plugged up. So you've got two ways to charge these batteries. You don't have to have a shore power plug if you don't want to. This inverter, you could go just with an inverter. This is an inverter charger, which obviously means, hence charger, it charges the batteries when you're plugged up. You don't have to go this route. You can get just an inverter and you don't need a shore power plug. This is just for if, hey, you're at a family's house and you want to plug up, or hey, you wanted for one night or two, you want to go to a campground, there you go. You can plug up, charge batteries, things like that. So it's just really nice and convenient to have. And for a couple more $100, you can get the full auto transfer switch with the charger, things like that. Obviously, we have two 100 watt panels. This is the 170 extended. You could probably fit 40 of them. Just kidding, you can't fit 40 of them. But there's a lot more space to put solar panels, so you can put as many as you want if you can fit them. Batteries, you can fit more batteries if you want. It just all depends on your budget and what you want. When it came time to securing the batteries down, you'll notice that these D-rings look familiar. That's the original D-rings that came in the van. I just repurposed them, and I bought this strap that tightens, and so these batteries are secured down this way. And then for this cabinet, as you can hear, this fan is running right now. So what I wanted to do is incorporate some type of fresh air circulation to this cabinet here. So I just cut a little 2-inch hole, and these are little plastic, little 2-inch little vents. So what that's going to do, it's going to allow air to circulate through here, so it just doesn't get too hot in this cabinet. And remember, all of this, it's linked down below. Hope you like this video. Hope it's informative. It helps you out if you used to be like me and you're like, I just don't know electrical. There you go. There it is. Leave me a comment below. Questions. Thanks, guys. Stay steady.